Good morning and welcome to yet another edition of the Focus Show. This time around, the Junior Focus Show. In today's show, we'll focus on all things related to the youth because the youth is the future. In today's show, you can expect an interview with our editor for the Focus Junior edition, Janet Dirhat. We'll also have an in-studio guest, or two in-studio guests rather, Vanessa Maresch and Jaylee. And last but not least, we'll be also chatting with the marketing coordinator, Joanna Paulus. Do stay tuned for yet another exciting and enlightening Junior Focus. Now I'm sitting here with Janet Dirhat, the editor for the Junior Focus edition. She will be chatting to us about what it took to create this amazing edition. Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, how are you doing?
Good, good. Kudos to the work. I read some of it today.
Okay, did you enjoy it at least?
Yes, it looks so good. And I was wondering, why was the theme this time around the youth?
It's actually for parents, for their children, so
Yes.
focuses on the parents and them actually helping their kids navigate the digital age, and for the parents as well to navigate the digital age. And of course the youth can also have a look, because I think the topics that are covered is relevant to the youth, of course. Yeah.
No, awesome, because the youth is the future, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So what were the challenges that you experienced compiling this edition?
Well, I wouldn't say there was a lot of challenges, because we're working with a team and we just coordinate the articles and everything. So if everyone pulls their weight, and we made it happen. So there wasn't a lot of challenges. We came through, the articles were done, the marketing team did their part. So I think it was free of a lot of challenges.
Well, it looks really well. Back on that, what do you think are some of the challenges that the youth, especially in the digital age, face? And how can we as guardians, parents, and so forth be of help?
Yeah, okay. So I think everybody uses social media at this point, and some of the issues that we might face is bullying online, sharing your details. I see a lot of youth whose identities or their Instagram pages get stolen online, so that has also become a big issue, of course, and just not understanding certain terms and conditions that you accept when you actually join these social media platforms. And of course AI is coming, or it is already here actually, so people have this fear that their jobs might be taken and all of that. So I would say that are some of the challenges. And of course you're also having your children on TikTok who's constantly watching these different content, so they get exposed to various content, and is always not child friendly. I mean YouTube as well, there are a lot of agendas that's being pushed on YouTube and on these platforms, so these children get exposed to that, and I mean they're at a very young age where they absorb everything that's being shared on media, in the media platforms. And TikTok can be very dangerous at some points as well, because I mean you have kids being exposed to soft porn, I would say, and they get exposed to certain topics that are not relevant to them. YouTube has their own platform for kids as well, so if you would like to have some more safety and have your children navigate the internet more safely, then some of these platforms are dedicated to them. And there are also a lot of shows on YouTube as well that is more child friendly.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I have a 5-year-old niece who, she watches everything on YouTube. And I like that sometimes we can monitor it, but sometimes we come and she's watching a show that's a little bit horrific. And I'm like, yeah, it's a bit hard to navigate some of those lines. Of course, I'm happy that there's a junior version of YouTube, so as with Netflix and so forth. But are there other ways as parents, maybe we have discussions with children, etc., to try to just safeguard them from, the dangers out there?
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, the digital age also provides a lot of applications that parents can use. So they do provide solutions to the issues that parents might face. So I would say making sure that you understand these applications and actually informing yourself also goes a long way to help your children. And obviously, as you mentioned, talk to them about these things. Perhaps have screen time for them as well, and tell them that for a certain time they can watch the platforms or whatever they want to watch, but also cut it off and make sure that you have an understanding of what they're watching. Parental guidance is obviously advised, but you can't always be there with your kids, so that becomes a bit difficult as well. So I would say screen time. You can limit their screen time on YouTube, on TikTok, and inform them about the dangers that are out there and what they get exposed to, and actually let it come from you as a parent before they see it online, and not necessarily have a shock of their lives, but get exposed to all of these stuff that might be harmful to them.
I totally agree. Now, I know we're now talking about the dangers of technology. Getting back to technology and the youth, like the young children, what are some of the benefits that we can say technology imparts on our youth? Especially now that we're talking about ChatGPT, which is a creative tool, and are we losing out as a nation? Are we losing creativity? Are our children being less creative because they're in front of TVs, or there's actually a benefit to technology in that regard?
Well, there's always a benefit to technology. I think we've moved in different generations, and different advantages comes with these generations. And I mean, you had the born freeze, and now you have these kids that are literally, again, born free and born in the digital age as well. So there are a lot of benefits, like you can actually get help on assignments, and you get exposed to these content that you otherwise would not. Children doesn't have to go to the library anymore for assignments and all of that, but it's still a great place to go to if you're interested in that. So there's a lot of information at your fingertips, and navigating it obviously is one of the challenges. But if you inform yourself and have digital literacy, then that can go a long way in actually helping yourself and having it and realizing the advantages that the digital age present to you. And in terms of the creativity, I think it can actually enhance your creativity to some level. You have all of these applications on InDesign that you can start learning yourself, teaching yourself a lot of design skills if you actually want to do that. So it's all about informing the children about what is out there and how to navigate these platforms to actually help you in the long run. I mean, you also have the internet that's open to you. If you want to start a digital sideline or a side hustle, and you want to do something for yourself, you can empower yourself through the digital age by knowledge and watching a lot of YouTube videos if you want to, because I mean, YouTube has become a sort of university
it's where we
for
learn.
yourself.
It's where we learn. I see my niece learns there, I also learn there, and I've seen a lot of benefits as well with how my niece can, articulate, say a lot of words at a young age, before 5, and that's because she was just watching like a lot of YouTube, and so I see the benefits of it. We'll be right back after the break with more Junior Focus.
So welcome back. We are joined by Vanessa Maresch. She is the commercial specialist, right? Empowerment specialist. Yeah. And Jaylee Fenter, the AI specialist. So can you guys just tell us a bit more about what you do at Salt Essentials, what your day-to-day looks like? Vanessa, you can start off.
All right, so I have the honor of being an empowerment specialist, which means I empower people with technology.
Okay.
So usually this involves a little bit of training, maybe some guidance, but my job is basically about teaching people how to use technology to increase productivity, creativity, work from anywhere, flexible work, hybrid work, but obviously also how to be safe online while using technology.
Awesome stuff. And Jaylee, what do you do as an AI specialist? It sounds so cool.
As an AI specialist, I mostly focus on enabling businesses with artificial intelligence, that and so much more. AI is a very exciting industry to be in. There are so many things you can do with artificial intelligence.
Awesome stuff. Now, I'm sure that the public can go on your website, find out more about everything you guys do and all that they can learn. Vanessa, you spoke about empowering people, and this is about empowering parents to navigate the digital age and everything. Can you just perhaps touch on that, how they can navigate it and ways to actually teach your children as well?
I'm glad that you mentioned YouTube earlier, because it's just a wealth of information. So if parents can throw in a bit of a dose of educating their kids with online behavior, you'll find a wealth of resources on YouTube already. So throw in a mix with that. I think the major takeaway here is that you cannot leave your kids unsupervised online. And I'm not saying you need to watch them like a hawk. I'm saying know what they're up to, have an honest and a candid conversation about the dangers and the risks. So not about, I want to police you, I want to follow wherever you go, I want to see who you're friends with, and that's not the idea. The idea is that they need to be comfortable discussing with their parents what they're doing online, and their parents guiding them and talking about the risks. I think one of the biggest concerns and one of the biggest problems with operating online is it's so much easier for people to create fake identities and impersonate people. And unfortunately, children are vulnerable. And not just children, grown-ups also. The old adage of if it's too good to be true, it is. But kids even more so, especially kids that are still finding their way in the world, with friends and all of those pressures. They want to believe that this person that's reaching out to be a friend or a follower, it looks what the picture says is what the write-up says, when in actual fact it's possibly not. So it's again not saying you can't believe everything, but an important takeaway is verify everything online. It's not like in the real world where you have your 5 senses to rely on. If someone's knocking on the door, you can see their face, you can hear their voice, and you can verify identity using your physical senses. Online, you don't have that. So it's very easy then and very dangerous for kids to be put in a position where they believe what this person is telling them. They're a friend, they're this, they want to go out for a date, and it can leave them in a very, very dangerous situation. So parents have an open and candid conversation, because kids aren't stupid. They understand. If you explain to them, it's not mom or dad wanting to try to spoil your fun here. And definitely, we cannot stop using the internet and online. Like you said, the potential here for young entrepreneurs to build businesses, to the followers, the influencers. It's wonderful, but we just need to help them use it safely and help them understand how they can mitigate the risks. And then it's like, go nuts, enjoy. It's a wonderful world and age we live in.
Definitely. And Jaylee, as an AI specialist, you definitely have a lot more knowledge, because I'm sure a lot of people are a bit scared to enter this digital age with AI and the fears that surround that. And in one of the articles we spoke about, you actually said that it's a myth that AI is going to harm a lot of people, or that the code is evil, or that AI is evil, but it's actually not the program or anything. Can you just touch on that, the myths behind it, and actually how to help yourself and empower yourself using AI?
Sure. I think you can break it down to our very unrealistic sci-fi movies. Thanks to them, we believe that Terminator is going to take over the world at this point in time. So very often I will be asked if artificial intelligence is evil. And as you mentioned in the article, I believe that the code itself predominantly isn't evil. Yeah. AI is based on code. You tell the computer how to respond, and thus being in control on that level, someone who is a coder, you are ethically obligated actually to write code that is good for the public at large. A moral compass to a certain extent does need to be in place. So yes, there are malicious builders out there. I have had some experience in seeing this, that there are people who develop malicious artificial intelligence, but then there are also people who develop good AI. So the fear is not necessarily the code itself or the artificial intelligence platform that you're utilizing. That would be almost saying that facial filters are evil. You could have that, but the general facial filters that we see at the moment on Facebook and Insta and all of these, it's very generalized. It's not necessarily evil, but the possibility of it doing something evil is there. The artificial intelligence does capture your facial features to give you this filter. So understand then that you need to be very aware of where is this data going? How secure is my picture of my face and my eyes on your platform? And this is something Vanessa and I briefly discussed before we jumped in here, where I said, you know, the terms and conditions before you accept it is very important on every platform. But I do believe that we're lacking a certain aspect where parents actually have the right to say, what are you doing with my data? What are you doing with my data and my child's data? How safe is it? You know, there's a certain level of disclosure that needs to be put in place so that everybody can feel more comfortable about using all of these platforms that have AI. Yeah. If that answers your question.
No, it definitely does. Vanessa, there's actually a cool project that you guys are doing at Salt Essentials about education and helping learners with their reading problems and all that. Can you touch on Toby and tell the public about that cool?
It's so amazing. It's just, yeah, we ran into Toby and Lexplore MRI a year or so ago. And what it basically is it's a little piece of hardware that gets stuck on a screen, and the child is then asked to read a short story. And what Toby then does is Toby locks onto the child's pupils, and as the child is reading, he then follows the eye movements, all right? So why this is significant is the pupil is actually how the brain decodes to be able to read. So what you'll see then on the other side of the screen where the assessor is seeing, as the child reads, it'll see where's the child struggling to decode. Yeah. So it's little bubbles and stripes. Where they're struggling to decode, they're spending more time on that word. So then the bubble goes up. And a good reader or an average reader, which is what we want, just average readers, because if you can't read, you can't learn. It puts you back in absolutely everything. So the idea behind this is just we want to know who are the struggling readers, and we want to help them become average readers so that they can do all the rest of the things they need to do in school. But yeah, so then you've got the little bubbles, but what it also shows, which is very interesting, is how the eye moves. So your average or normal reader will have this consistent movement of the eyes, where kids with dyslexia or dyspraxia, one of those things, they will jump back and forth. So it's very, very useful for detecting learning disabilities or reading disabilities as well. And we're busy with a pilot right now, so we have earmarked some schools. We actually got funding from our partners in Europe, where we can actually do pilots for the schools in Namibia free of charge, so there's no cost attached to it. There is limited spaces available, but we do have some spaces for schools available. If you are interested, you can reach out to us. We can see how we can slot you in, and we'll come there. We'll bring Toby, we'll bring the screen, we'll bring everything we need, and we'll then do some reading assessments on your students. You get beautiful reports out of it, so telling you this student, where is this student or this class compared, benchmarked internationally. But what the system also does is it actually gives each student exercises that they can do. So they get actual exercises. If the tool has detected they've got problems with phonetics, you know, klanke, then it'll spit out little exercises that the teacher, remedial teacher, can now do with the student to help improve that. And the idea is then that you actually test them every 6 months so that you can see that progress is being made.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that we can go on and on about we didn't even touch on cybersecurity, which is a shame. So guys, you have to go read the junior booklet where Vanessa actually just touches on that and actually give guidelines to parents on how they can stay safe on the internet. So that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It was a pleasure learning from you. But yes, let's go to the next segment.
I'm sitting here with the marketing coordinator for the Junior Focus Edition, Johanna Polis, who's going to give us a little bit about the marketing process. Can you tell us about the clients featured into this edition?
This year, thank you for having me first and foremost. This year we don't have quite a lot of clients that came on board, but they did make a statement and they did go in line with the theme for this year. So we have Namilk with their progressive parenting ebook. They are advertising that, and this is a parent's booklet, so it goes well in line with it as well. We have Minds in Action, who is a robotics school, so this is a great place to take your kids after school, maybe to learn about some programming, coding and the like.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
It's very, very informative. And then we have the likes of Kumon and FNB as well, and Nedbank. They're advertising their youth programs and youth projects as well.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. You're right. They did come in and they made a big statement. So what do you think of, just before I let you go, what do you think of this edition, and how was the process for you?
It was very informative, first and foremost, and I think it's a very good topic to touch on, as cybersecurity and the dangers thereof, and AI and all that is becoming quite an issue for our children in this day and age. So I think it's very important that it was touched on.
Yeah.
It was a good thing.
For real. I was so happy when I got it, and because it not only informs me, but it also informs every other parent or guardian out there.
Yes.
Anyways, we have to end the show. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching our Junior Focus show. From me, Glenn Rashipura. Until next time.